new video has been released of a British journalist being held hostage by the militants who call themselves Islamic State. It's been posted online today. Our correspondent Lisa Holland's been looking through it. It's a curious twist on the sort of unpleasant videos they've released up to now. This man, difficult to know whether it's propaganda or a plea for his life.
Yeah, I mean, curious, absolutely, Jeremy, because as you say, we're used to seeing propaganda videos, which are very well made, incidentally, from the extremist group calling itself Islamic State, normally projecting a very brutal image and showing the before and the after of killing of hostages. Remember, recently, of course, they've beheaded and killed 2 American journalists and the 1 British hostage, David Haines. Now this is a new video which shows a journalist, a British journalist who calls himself John Cantlie. He is alive. He's seemingly very calm. He's looking dead straight into the camera, but it's shot, interestingly, from 2 angles, which shows that level of sophistication. Here's a clip where he introduces himself and who he is.
My name is John Cantlie. I'm a British journalist who used to work for some of the bigger newspapers and magazines in the UK, including the Sunday Times, the Sun and the Sunday Telegraph.
And what's really interesting, Jeremy, about this is that he claims to be going to use video messages, suggesting that this is almost part of a series of video messages to put the other side of the story. Now, we know Islamic State as this brutal medieval organisation which has swept through Iraq and Syria. It's almost as if he is presenting a different face. Now, whether that is by his own decision or whether he's being pushed into that, he talks about the suggestion that you might assume that I've got a gun at my head. This is what he tantalisingly says he's going to show the British public and the people of the world about the face of Islamic State as he sees it.
I'm going to show you the truth behind the systems and motivation of the Islamic State and how the Western media, the very organisation I used to work for, can twist and manipulate that truth for the public back home. There are 2 sides to every story.
So, it's difficult to know whether this is his own thinking or whether he is under duress, which would be a surprise if he wasn't, considering he's been held hostage twice in that area.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly got a track record for going in and out of the country. And as you say, what exactly is going through his mind? He says, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking he's only doing this because he's a prisoner and he's got a gun at his head and he's being forced to do this, right? Well, it's true. And then he goes on to explain why he wants to do it. I mean, clearly, obviously, he says he was captured in November 2012. He spent a long time, not only in the Middle East, but also at the hands of Islamic State. It may well be that he has started to believe in their mantra, or that this is something that he's doing to save his own life. Either way, this is not the first time that probably we will see or hear of John Cantlie, because he says, join me for the next few programmes, and I think you may be surprised at what you learn.